Production support for the weekly special provided by WTIU members. Thank you.
Join the club tonight as we profile 3 Hoosier groups that hope you'll join in to share the fun. First up, we head to Terre Haute to check in on the Rex, the Prospect League baseball team that's wrapping up their 2nd season. Then it's the Tearjerkers and their tiny campers, and model rockets on a grand scale. Plus, Phil Graham is here to perform right now on the weekly special.
Welcome to the weekly special. I'm Joe Wren.
And I'm Pam Thrash.
Like you said, Pam, tonight we're looking at a couple different groups here in the Hoosier State. And first up is the Terre Haute Rex. Year 2 of baseball is underway for the Rex, and the team is bringing more than family fun to area residents. We found out during our visit to Terre Haute that it also makes sense as an investment. When Indiana State University officials asked the ISU Foundation to fund a renovation of the school's baseball field, Foundation leaders saw an opportunity for something much more, owning a summer baseball team to play on that field and diversify their investment.
Thank you. Enjoy the game.
ISU Foundation President Gene Kroom says the volatile nature of investments over the past few years made the new venture make more sense.
This one's a pretty steady one that has some nice cash flow, and the bottom line is all the money that we make goes back into scholarships and support for faculty and helps grow Indiana State University, but at the same time it really means a lot to Terre Haute.
A win-win situation for the foundation, the university, and the city as well.
It's a jewel, and it's really, that's what we're starting to see is we can talk about the Terre Haute Rex when we talk about selling the city to somebody from an economic development perspective.
A new baseball team brings new opportunities for the city. Besides jobs, the new team brings a boost to the economy, and Mayor Duke Bennett keeping an eye on city infrastructure.
As other things develop that kind of complement this, that's where the planning has to be, you know, the rubber meets the road, if you will, where we have to make sure we can get people in and out. And I think we've really thought about that.
Kroom says the key is keeping the outing affordable to draw people from outside Terre Haute to help build a fan base.
When you study these things, what you learn is your target market is a mom with 2 kids. She can come to the ballpark and have the kids have a good meal, have some fun, know they're safe in the kids zone and have a good time running around. That's what brings people back to the ballpark.
Jennifer Short and her family make the half-hour drive down from Clinton to watch the Rex.
The little girls are in the Rex Kids Team Play Zone. They're 3 and 5, and then my stepson's sitting up in the bleachers with my husband watching the game. They come up here all the time. It's pretty reasonable price range, and it doesn't cost a whole lot, and they have a lot of specials and things like that, so it's a fun place to bring the family.
But manager Brian Dorsett knows that wins also bring more fans and better players. The Rex play in a collegiate summer league. That means Dorsett is recruiting college players who want to play professionally.
Getting the college itself to get a good relationship with them to send you their better players. I think that's the key. Once players leave here and have a good experience, it's word of mouth.
And for the most part, the players don't have to worry about much besides baseball.
We travel in first-class charter, stay in nice hotels. They get $20 a day meal money on the road. They stay with a host family. So the only thing it costs for these guys is to get here and to get home.
With season ticket sales up, corporate sales increasing, additional sponsors secured, Mayor Bennett says the ball club has nowhere to go but up.
It's possible that maybe someday we have a true minor league team here. And so the goal would be to support these guys, have them be successful, have them be that jewel in our crown, and then let's see where it takes us. You know, I really think we'll be along for the ride.
The Terre Haute Rex season runs through August 6th. For tickets and a game schedule, visit threxbaseball.com. And now we go over to Pam, who has a guest in the booth. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Joe. Thank you so much. We have Kurt. Thanks for stopping by today. You're the director of the Indiana Tearjerkers.
Right.
Before we get talking about that, we're going to set the mood a little bit. We've got a music clip from an artist by the name of Bob Richards, to get us in the mood. Let's hear it.
Long hard week with no end in sight. I work all day and half the night. No time for fun, no time to play. But after 5 today, I'm out of here. I'm on my way. Honey, hook up the teardrop. I'm on my way. Out on the highway, it's a brand new day. East or west, north or south, it don't matter which way we go. Hook up the teardrop, head off down the road.
Well, now I'm in the mood to camp a little bit. I'd not heard too much about teardrops before. I looked at your website and saw a lot about it. When did you start getting interested in this?
I got about 2001. I wanted to buy a motorcycle.
Okay.
And I was looking on eBay for a small cargo trailer, and lo and behold, we stumbled into the teardrops and other small trailers, and it made so much more sense than towing around with a motorcycle in the rain. At least this way we're staying dry and having a good time. So that's how I got hooked on it, and it didn't take long. And about 3 months later, I had one on the road and started going camping.
And so there's a big appeal to this, and you even have the Indiana Tearjerkers.
Right. Yep.
How many people are involved with that?
The Tearjerkers organization is a nationwide, a worldwide organization.
Okay.
There's 2,502, I think, registered tearjerkers, they call them. And it was founded by a gentleman in New York City who loved to go camping when he was a kid and had some of these old trailers. And I guess he saw some pictures of them. And he bought an original trailer, a 1947 trailer. And he started pulling that around and thought he was the only one in New York State that had one.
Lo and behold.
No, there was tons of them. They're everywhere.
Tell me about the appeal of these particular campers compared to other ones.
The appeal is, simply, it's very easy to tow them. They weigh less than 1,000 pounds.
Can any car pretty much tow
Any
them?
car doesn't make it. We have one fellow and his girlfriend. He's 85 and she's 80, maybe 79 or 80. He pulls his with a motorcycle.
Really? So it's very convenient.
Yeah. Now his is a little smaller.
Yeah.
But it works. And he's from Northeast Ohio. And he came all the way over here.
Now I got to ask too, that they're so tiny and compact, and it's been so hot. Do some of them have air conditioning?
I have air conditioning in mine.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And most of them have either a 12-volt system where there's a fan that blows air around, and some of them have a roof vent that's like a whole house fan where it blows the air out the top and sucks it in the windows. And that works out real well too.
Excellent. Now, for those that haven't seen one, you actually brought one here for us to check out.
Yeah.
And that is where Joe is right now. He's outside enjoying the weather. Joe, how is it going out there?
Hi, Pam. You're going to have to come out here and check this out. We're out here with Dan from Greenwood, who brought here his Tearjerker trailer with him today. This is amazing. They're even smaller in person than what I saw on the internet. Can you tell us a little bit about why it's called a Tearjerker?
Well, just from the very shape of them, they were a simple camper made for sportsmen in the early years. Just by the very shape of them, they called them teardrop camper trailers.
And what's kind of the history about these? I hear they maybe started around in the 50s and then kind of went away and came back in the 90s again.
Yeah, they became popular in the mid-40s or so. There was about 7 manufacturers, most of them on the West Coast. Most of the material from most of the manufacturers was surplus material from the war. They got surplus aluminum, surplus wheels and tires from the war manufacturers. And they built these things for about a 4 to 6 year period, and then most of the manufacturers graduated into larger campers.
Now, this has become a hobby for you.
Yes, it has.
Tell us why.
I've always been kind of a traditionalist. I think I was one of the guys that was born in the wrong era. And well, after I seen my first one, I always have been an outdoors enthusiast, did a lot of camping. And after I think the last time I got wet sleeping in a tent, I knew I had to find another means of camping. And I had seen an original like this at a show, then it piqued my interest. And I thought I had to kind of get a little more interested. I mean, now it's a hobby that's actually turned into a full-time business.
Sure, because you also build
Yes,
these
I
as
do.
well. Now I hear they're very difficult to prepare. You want to show us how long it takes to get it ready to go?
It's ready.
There we go. Ready to go camping.
Ready to go camping.
So this here is storage and looks like the kitchen.
Yes, this is the kitchen area called the galley. This is an ice box for keeping drinks cold. It's got a water tank behind that wall there that gravity feeds down to a faucet, and just has basic storage in a storage cabinet.
That's all you need, right?
That's all you need.
A place to cook and a place to sleep.
The bed's in the front, yes.
And this one here is Kurt's camper, but he built this himself.
Yes, this is not a factory made. This is a home built that Kurt actually assembled himself.
How long does it take to build one of these?
Depending on your construction abilities, a few weeks to a couple of months, maybe over a winter.
Sure. And this one, of course, all the conveniences of home, you know, the coffee pot, and I think there's a...
And yes, more so. Even modern conveniences.
Look at that. Television right there.
Television.
Before we go back to Pam, though, I have to see the inside.
Okay.
Which way? This way here?
Basically the same design format with the bed in the front.
Look at that. And if I'm not mistaken, even a little bit of home convenience, home theater system inside.
Home computer,
TV.
DVD, flat panel.
Great. Well, these are so fun. Thanks so much for coming out here. For now, we're going to go. Yeah, we're going to go back to Pam in the studio.
Thanks, Joe. So, Kurt, we saw your teardrop camper out there, and you built that yourself.
I did.
How long did it take you?
About 3 months, I would guess.
About 3 months.
Start to finish.
And did you do it in the winter so you'd have it ready for the summertime?
We had a fairly warm winter, and the hardest part was waiting for the snow to melt so I could take the aluminum outside and lay it on the grass so I could cut it out, the shapes in the side, and then glue it on the sides. And it's basically plywood and a small trailer frame, plywood walls, and aluminum covering.
And you know, I was noticing your shirt, the Jerkers Gathering, McCormick's Creek State Park.
Yeah.
So how many are there for the weekend?
We have, right now, we think there's probably 139. That's probably the biggest gathering, one of the biggest gatherings in the United States ever. So
and if people see you on the road, I'm assuming you get some questions asked.
Oh yeah, you don't dare stop for gas when there's people
Really?
around. Unless you have time, because people love to ask questions, and they're fun to explain the whole system to them.
Now, I can imagine, too, I was seeing you had a TV with yours, and you said air conditioning. What's the most tricked out one you've seen?
Oh, let's see. I've seen some with slide-outs.
Slide-outs?
Like a big trailer, except has a slide-out for maybe an air conditioner or a dog. Now, probably the coolest one I've seen is there's a couple that has 3 children, little kids. They were when they built it. And they like to go camping, and they took a tent for the kids.
Right.
Well, they thought it would really be neat if they had 2 teardrops, one big one and one little one. So he built a second one and tows it in tandem with the first one. So there's a car and 2 trailers going down the road. And then when they park them side by side and have a little breezeway that goes between the 2 trailers, a little canvas covering, so that they can get to the kids easily. And it's amazing. People do the darndest things with them. Some of them have the mattress is in sections, and you can pull it up and make a couch inside.
Really?
Play cards in there, whatever you want. You have to sit down to do it.
Yeah.
Because they aren't very tall.
So there's all sorts of different sizes of these, just depending on what you want.
Yeah, the old originals were about 4 feet wide, like Dan was saying, and they were all built on a 4x8 trailer usually. That was just kind of a modular size, and now about 90% of the new ones are 5 feet wide or bigger.
Okay.
Because people are bigger.
Right.
My wife, fortunately, is small enough so we can both.
I'm glad you didn't say the other. I was like, my wife's big. So she's, that's fantastic. And people bring their dogs. I mean, it's just like camping, only it's very convenient.
A lot of dogs. A lot of people have dog houses attached to the slide out. You know, they'll do anything.
It's as creative as you want to be.
It is, exactly.
What are some of the accessories that go along with most of them?
Well, there's many of them have that attic fan I was talking about, or the whole house fan concept. There's coffee makers that are built in. I've seen refrigerators built in the galley.
Right.
And electric. Well, Dan has an electric freezer refrigerator in his. He just plugs it in, and he's got cold all weekend if he wants it. And just about anything you can imagine. I've got a lot of shelves and storage or drawers, little utensil drawers and things like that. And it all works. Boy, it's so much easier. And probably the best thing about them, you don't have to worry about rain. If it rains, you go inside, but most of them are covered with a big canopy. And they don't leak, and they're warm, and they're cold when they need to be, and just perfect.
Really convenient. We see him setting up some stuff outside, and it doesn't take any time at all setting this up.
10 minutes and you're done.
That's fantastic.
At the most.
That is fantastic. And I'm imagining people that are into this are also into other collections too that go along with it.
Hot rodders.
Hot rodders. Tell us about that.
There's the first time I saw another one was at a car show, and he's now in this group too, but he's from Indianapolis. And he had a little Scotty trailer, it was called, and Scotty still makes trailers today, but they made a little miniature version, a little 4x8 one. And the hot rodders like them because a lot of times these big hot rod meets, you can't find a place to stay. So they just take their house with them.
That makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
It really does. Well, Kurt, thank you so much. This is just so much fun. I think we need to get one for the weekly special. And Joe is out. Joe, are you still out there?
Oh, Pam, this is a blast. We're having a great time out here. If you need anything, just holler. We'll be out here.
Okay. Well, Kurt, while we try and figure out a way to get Joe back in, let's talk again about the big event going on this weekend at McCormick's Creek.
McCormick's Creek. I didn't realize this, but it's the very first state park in Indiana, so they're having big celebrations. 95th anniversary. And there's people coming in to just look at our little trailers, but we scheduled it over there because it was a nice big park. We call it Crossroads of America because it kind of is. And we've got people from Florida to Montreal to California, and almost the entire east coast of the country states are covered.
Well, that's exciting.
Just people everywhere.
And that's at McCormick's Creek this weekend, and people can come by and ask questions all they want.
We're going to have a wine and cheese party Friday night for 260 people. And Saturday morning we'll have about 200 people for breakfast, an outdoor breakfast. And then our big pitch-in dinner will be Saturday night, and that'll be something to see.
Well, enjoy. That sounds like a blast. Maybe we'll bring one out next year.
Oh yeah, do it. That'd be fun.
All right, thanks so much, Kurt. And up next, another mode of miniature transportation, model rockets. We met up with Indiana Rocketry, a high-powered rocket club, to join in the fun of sending cardboard and fiberglass thousands of feet straight up.
On the periscope. What a beautiful view. And negative, just relaying my condition is still good. Getting ready for impact. Roger.
I'd always been interested in it through Scouts and 4-H when I was younger. So I volunteered for our local 4-H group here in Tippecanoe County. And through that I started meeting some of the fathers that were helping their kids, and they didn't realize that there were actually high power rockets out there, and it's just like, you know, hey, bigger is better no matter where you go. And I said, well, you know, there's 5 of us that are doing it. I can't imagine that there'd be anybody else around this area that would want to do it. And before I knew it, 5 turned into 10, 10 turned into 20. And today we've got about 40 members in our local club, which is, you know, for this area of the country is just, you know, outstanding. It's not a toy, even though they look like they are toys. You know, we're dealing with a motor that has black powder in it. So the science and math of this is so important, knowing, you know, the weight of your rocket, the impulse of your motor, knowing how high the rocket's going to go, and how, you know, how long it's going to take for it to reach apogee, which is the very top. And then at that point, you'd hope that your parachute or streamer would come out. So that's the math part about it. Some of the science parts about it is knowing, you know, the fin configuration. You've got to know how much fin surface you have so that the rocket will fly straight. You know, everything has to be straight on these things to fly properly.
That's for that crayon rocket contest we had at Eat, Cheese, or Fly last year.
Okay.
Everybody got 6-inch crayons in February at our launch. And in August, everybody had to launch the crayons, right? In whatever configuration you came up with. Well,
how'd it go?
That's what I came up with. Well, I won the contest.
You won the contest. And that was what I'm trying to hold. The rockets that we have for the 4-H kids are cardboard tubes, balsa fins, balsa nose cone. So these bigger rockets that a lot of these guys are building, it's not uncommon to hear them say that it took them 6-8 months to build.
Okay, I loosen that up. Pull this up, and on the other side, if you turn it, are my switches. Turn the electronics on.
There are safety regulations set up by the two bargaining powers, AAA and NARA, that sanction everything, that say for that size of rocket and motor, this is how far you should stay away. It's not a scary thing. It's not a thing that, you know, okay, I'm not going to do that or avoid it because there's big motors or something like that. No, it's not a scary thing. Yeah, even though we're a high power group, you know, one thing that we wanted to be involved with was the education of this. And, you know, we have the scout group out here that's helping us serve food today, but they also had a rocket to go up earlier, so that was pretty cool, and I know they were pretty excited about that. It's just great to see something fly really well.
3, 2, 1.
Indiana Rocketry schedules launches throughout the year, and the public is encouraged to come out to enjoy the fun. Learn more about the group and the hobby of high-powered rockets at their website, indianarocketry.com. And now, Phil Graham.
When I first saw her, born in the early morn, laying in her mommy's arms, an angel I adored. She was my baby, a precious little gift, sent down from heaven to give us joy within. Oh, how the years come and go, speeding through life with the hope, seeking and praying for their happiness. But oh, it's so hard to let them go. Now that the time so quickly pass away, and here stands my baby on her wedding day. If I have one wish, and that wish come true, I would spend another day holding and loving you. Oh, how the years come and go, speeding through life with the hope, seeking and praying for their happiness. And oh, it's so hard to let them go. Oh, how the years come and go, speeding through life with the hope, seeking and praying for their happiness. And oh, it's so hard to let them go.
Graham. That was really pretty.
Thank
That
you.
was very pretty. There has to be a personal story to that song.
Oh, yes, there is.
Tell us about it.
I wrote that for my daughter when she got married.
Oh my goodness, and I'm sure tears were flowing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, it's always fun to have you. We've had you here before, and it's fun to have you back again here on the weekly special. If people want to find out more information about you, social media wise, you got a page on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, you can contact me on Facebook.
Okay, just look up Phil Graham, I'm assuming.
Philip Graham.
Okay, Philip Graham. And you have another song coming up towards the end of the show. Tell us about that one.
It's another song that I'd written. A buddy of mine wanted me to write a dance song one time, so I did it. So.
A dance song, acoustic dance song.
Yes.
All right, well, Joe and I will be ready to boogie. And in the meantime, we are going to take it back over to Joe.
Okay, thanks, Pam. And we'd like to remind everyone to stay connected with the Weekly Special by visiting our website at theweeklyspecial.org. You'll see what's coming up, and you can check out video from this and from past episodes. And like us on Facebook, where you can join in the conversation with fellow viewers of the Weekly Special, share events, and see behind-the-scenes photos and videos. And that just about does it for tonight's show. Thanks so much for joining us. For Pam, I'm Joe Wren. Good night.
She's got the love that I long for, and the feel that I can't ignore. Oh yeah, she means the whole world to me. Oh yeah, she means the whole world to me. Oh yeah, she means the whole world to me.
Production support for the weekly special provided by WTIU members. Thank you.